Yeah, let me take a look at gold. Gold's quite interesting. Gold's quite interesting. I didn't take that one. I didn't take that one either. Gold's quite interesting. It's been making lower lows. What gold did, remember last week I told you that gold's going to match equal highs. I said gold is going to match equal all-time highs, and that's what it did. It just came short of all-time highs, then started selling off. And I thought it was going to take a week or two. It took a matter of days after last Monday's call that gold just kept going, climbing, reached just under all-time highs and started selling off. Now, with gold, you need to trade it slightly differently to other pairs. You want to trade it level to level. So what I'll do is I look for wicks on the 4-hour and the daily chart. And that's why I mark out my levels. So for example, this is a key level here because it's wicked out twice and it's wicked there. This would be a key level here, stuff like that. Those are key levels. So you want to mark up all the key levels and then see how price reacts off of that. Now gold's been selling off. Made a big sell-off here, retraced back up. And what I found is that it was respecting the 30-minute order blocks. So if you go to 30 minutes, so it looks kind of messy here. Let me delete these lines. If you go to 30-minute, you can see here, it kind of respected this order block here. It didn't really wick into it, but I give it the benefit of doubt. It sold off, touched here, kind of, where it didn't really mitigate it, and then it sold off again, and it came back up here end of Sunday, and it started selling off all of today. So yeah, gold's making lower lows. So gold's bearish right now. Lower lows, high, lower lows. So I expect it to keep selling off. What I want to do is see how it reacts off of this area here, because this is a level. It's wicked here, it's wicked here. So it might bounce off of here momentarily. So I wouldn't expect a big bounce, but I'd expect it to bounce off of here somewhat. And then we'll decide what it could do. I don't know what it's going to do next. It'll probably carry on selling off, but I still expect a reaction off of this line like it's done already once before. The one I'm looking at the most this week is GJ. Now, with GJ, what GJ has done so far is that, if you remember way back when, like at the beginning of the year, GJ was making higher highs here. It broke out here, made higher highs, came back, retested it, and then started climbing again. Now it failed to make new highs and it started selling off. So now it's bearish. So if you go down to the 4-hour chart with GU, what I find here was that this was like a 4-hour order block. This is another 4-hour order block. Price retraced up there, sold off, but it didn't go all the way down to this order block. What I wanted it to do was come back down to this daily order block, because that would have been where I would want it to react from. So I was hoping that price was going to go all the way down here and then climb, but it didn't do that. So what I think it's done is that it's fell just short of that. It's come up here, and now I think it's going to test this order block again tomorrow and then sell off all the way back down to this area, because it needs to test this order block. There's too many orders filled in here for it to not test this, and this is like just an inefficiency gap. So I think price is going to come up here, retest this order block again. So this was the third time it tested this order block, and then sell off all the way down to this daily order block. So I'll be looking for shorts around here. That's why I set my alert up there. So once it gets in there, I look for some low entry criteria. Look for lower entries on the lower time frame, sorry, and then I would short from there. Does that make sense, guys? Then I'm on to the S&P 500. What I'm learning about S&P 500 is that it's been selling off ever since. There's lots of liquidity sitting above here. So it needs to be broken at some point, but I still think now's not the time. I still think all the indices are quite bearish. So you should just be looking for shorts, really. Just be looking for shorts for the indices, especially S&P 500. So what I've noticed is that S&P 500, okay, so bear with me. Here was an order block here. It's sold off, retraced back down to it, went down to the base, came back up to the same order block. I think it's going to go all the way back down to this base again. Most of the move is gone, so there's no point, but that would have been a great short if we could have got a short up there. It spent today doing what I expect GJ to do. So what I meant by what I saw GJ doing is what I'm seeing this do here, where it made a big sell-off, but then it came back up a little bit, came down, came back up to this never area again, came back up, and it sold off. So it made a little kind of like a resistance base where it reacted off of it three times before it sold off. And that's exactly what GJ is doing. So GJ, if you remember, I said that if you look at the higher time frame, GJ has been selling off. It pulled back, sold off, came back to where it pulled back before, sold off, came back to where it pulled back, sold off, and then it's going to go back down. So it gave you like almost like 3 reactions off of this order block before selling off. And if you look at S&P 500, it did the exact same thing. So you see these patterns reoccur, show the same. You see the same patterns reoccur even on different pairs. Does that make sense, guys? Let me put them side by side so you get what I mean. Obviously, this is not going to present itself all the time, but when you see these happen once before, you'll notice it when it happens again. So, is it the 4-hour time? What's this? Let me remove all drawings. So, yeah, on the daily. Now, let's do it on the 4-hour. So, yeah, it's not easy to identify, but what I'm saying is that price GJ is selling off. It's bearish, and so was S&P 500 is bearish. But that didn't stop it from not collecting orders. So it's not just going to go down in a straight line. It's going to go down, come up, come down. Sometimes it will retest that area again, and it may retest it a third time before selling off. And when it does that, that's where you have an opportunity to. So if you miss a short here and you think, oh, I've missed the move, what you don't realize is that there's areas such as this area there where once it pulls back, you should be able to think, okay, let me find a short entry there. So you need to realize that you're looking for a short entry around there, and it may pull back 2-3 times to that area before it continues selling off. So it gives you a second opportunity to enter a short. Does that make sense, guys? So that could have been done today on S&P 500, but I didn't see that one until after the fact. But at least GJ, we got an opportunity to do that here. It's respected this area twice. I think it's going to go there a third time. So we need to just be alert so that we can enter that short and then ride it down and and get a really nice entry. If you get a really tight entry, you can get a good risk to reward. And it'll only take you maybe a few days. You probably only need to hold it for a few days. You just take this short like that, something like that, and then ride it all the way down. That could be like 10, 12R, which is not too bad for like a few days to hold that trade. Does that make sense, guys? Just look at that. That basically explains what I'm looking for. And as you can see here, there's an example of this that's already played out. Here's an example of this that's about to play out. So that would be the one I'd be looking to enter because this one hasn't fully finished yet. This one has. So you've kind of missed most of the moves. So there would be no point trying to enter a short there.
Let's face it, if you're trading Forex without a winning trading plan, you're gambling. You need a model that is going to long-term net you a profit. Our team has put together a free guide on how you can actually create a trading plan.
All you have to do is use the link down below in the description.
Send the word template to our team on Telegram and we'll send you a copy. Again, hit the word template in your Telegram, send us a message and we'll get back to you with a copy of the free trading plan template.